Welcome to another edition of Read to Save. My name is Olabisi Afolabi, and it's always a privilege to be here. Thank you to Mr. Taiwo Akinlami. Today we are continuing in the book Show Up, Stand Out, Show Off. Yeah! Alright, today we have a very interesting topic to read on, and the title is Tell Your Story. So because of that, there are actually a couple of stories in this story, of course. So we're having a lot of fun reading. I particularly like this topic because, this is something that I don't like to do, telling my story. I feel like, I should be modest, I shouldn't talk about myself, I shouldn't blow my own trumpet, I don't want to show too much. But, Mr. Akinlami has been able to show us in the book why it's very important to tell your story. To not tell your story is to betray your existence. Elumeso knows what he was talking about. We're into the dish now. It says, when you do not tell your story, you betray your existence. How? Do you understand what it means to betray? It is to sell out. It is to let down. See, to betray one's existence is to let down one's existence. It's to sell out on your own existence. What is existence? What does it mean? It is the reality of your being. It is the color of destiny. Your existence is the strength of presence and the link to your glorious future. So anyone who cannot tell his or her story has done injustice to himself and to humanity. Why? Our entire existence is captured in our stories. So what is your story? You have a story daily. Yes, you do. You are home daily. Yes, you do. You struggle daily. Yes, you do. You are disappointed daily. Yes, you do. Yes, you are. In all this, you are learning. You're learning daily and drawing lessons for yourself and those who observe. Parable of Bed of Roses. It says there are people who have also dared serious issues of life beyond the everyday victory over defeat and embarrassment. This one have refused to take no for an answer. They believe that no is an opinion. That means no is what you think, no doesn't have to be the answer. They understand very well that it's a popular saying that life is not a bed of roses. They insist for their seemingly unsolvable situation that the saying is just part of the whole truth. They believe that they have a choice in the matter. They can say, like every simple soul around, that life is not a bed of roses, and call a pity party, lamenting and say, my poor family background, child abuse, the state of the economy, my failing health, lack of formal, lack of connection, there's no capital to start my business, anything. They can state a lot of excuses. They can say also that I'm going to start from where I am with what I have. They believe they surely have something. They know surely that every living being has something. Now what's that thing? Guess. What's that thing that everybody has? That's your breath. Everyone has breath. You can breathe in and out. That's free for everybody. Yes. They find faith in the words of the sage, which have been shared in our previous session, that a living dog is better than a dead lion. A living dog is better than a dead lion. They appreciate breath as the most important commodity in the pursuit of man on earth. They say boldly to themselves, yes, life is not a bed of roses until you dare to acquire a piece of land, buy or hire a cutlass and a hoe, clear the land and make a bed there, buy a bunch of roses and plant them on the bed you have made. For fast growth, you can even add fertilizer. They make the point of duty to water it and weed it daily. For the best of roses come with thorns. Then you have a bed of roses. So to whom do you tell your story? So who do I tell my story? Number one, yourself. You tell yourself your stories of your past victories and the lessons you learned. This will help you to dare greater heights. When you confront a situation or you're at a crossroad, you don't know what to do. Your own story of what you've been able to do in the past, the little things that you have achieved. Maybe you passed an exam, maybe you were able to write an application, you were able to do one small thing. That particular thing begins to make you know that, I can actually do this again. This is not too much for me to handle. I can do this because I did something in the past. You understand? So I submit to you that there's a lot of power in telling your story to yourself. There's a lot of power in telling your story to yourself. Another one is to your world. So number one, you tell your story to yourself. Number two, you tell it to your world. Our world is in search of hope. This hope is hidden in the stories of men, women, boys and girls who will dare to tell the story. We cannot deny our world of the hope that is hidden in our stories. I'm instructed. I cannot deny my world of the hope that is hidden in my story. It is unique in its own right and its own way. So how do you tell your story? How? I'm wondering. So let's see. So when you tell your story, do it this way to ensure that it has impact. Number one, tell the story. So you just tell it normally. So when I was young, this happened. Then bring out the principles you engaged to achieve the results. So I did this from the story. Then number two, bring out the lessons. Then give clear instructions to your hearer. In my opinion, if you don't do this in telling your story, you may not have much impact. But when you tell the story, bring out the principles, bring out the lessons, and give clear instructions, then your story will have a lot of impact. So, personally, I had to write an application recently, and I was supposed to go back to memory lane, and I realized that the first time I ever did a job was when I was 14. I went to a local school in my community to volunteer. They said, I like to teach, I like to help out here. I was just 14, and it never occurred to me that was a big deal until recently when I was thinking about it again. That wow, I did this at 14. Then that there's something right here. So there's always something in your story. According to one, take a decision to collate all your stories within the next 1 week. Mr. Kalam is giving us that instruction. From this book, I've learned a lot apart from that. I have to own my story and tell the world my story because there's hope in my story for somebody. So Mr. Kalam is saying in this book, take a decision to collect all your stories within the next 1 week. Even for when you were little, I told you from when I was 14, I realized that I volunteered for a school. That's something. Write down your stories, stating the principles, the lessons and the instructions for you and those that will hear the story later. Decide to keep a journal where you will report all your daily events.